2022 is presenting itself as a really fascinating year for gold and silver. And whether you're looking to get in for the first time on bullion grade gold, silver, or collectible numismatics like proof coins, or even our poured silver bars, there are a lot of factors at play which people really should take quite seriously before thinking about buying for the first time or adding to their ever-growing stacks. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for the first Precious Metal Ramble of 2022, which is no doubt a year that will be very interesting to watch from a stacker, investor, collector perspective for gold and silver. That was a bit of a mouthful to get out, but nevertheless, today's video I want to talk about the year ahead from the perspective of both a seasoned stacker investor and also perhaps a brand new stacker or investor that looks to get into gold and silver for the first time. Is now the right time to buy? Should you look to go in one go and buy everything you can right now? Or is it wise to just step back and have a look at the wider picture? There's so many different questions which can be asked, and the purpose of today's video is not to give specific financial advice, but to get the brain juices flowing for people to ask questions about what is right for them. And I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are as we go throughout the video, so please feel free to share them down in the comment section below. I know that myself and plenty of other new and seasoned stackers alike get a lot of value from hearing others' opinions. Now, with that in mind, 2022, big year ahead, and there are already brand new releases coming out from the Royal Mint and various others as well to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee celebrations with annual coin sets. There is a plethora of different choices when it comes to gold and silver out there, and sometimes it can feel quite daunting, I think, for a lot of new stackers to see what is right for them. And certainly the landscape has shifted quite a lot, I think, certainly in the last 12 months, but even more so in the last 18 months to 2 years, kind of pre-pandemic to post-pandemic, is very, very different when it comes to gold and silver. So lots of different choices out there, whether it be collectible numismatics like the special items from Perth Mint, kookaburras, things like that, the big funky Queen's Beast collector coins, which are more at the bullion end of the spectrum but still have this kind of collector's allure to them, or whether it's higher premium item stuff like poured silver. These are our 1 ounce Backyard Bullion logo channel bars. They are actually available on our website right now. We don't often have stock available on our website, but there are a limited amount available. There's a link down in the description below, so go and check them out. But those are higher premium items and are more collectibles. They are items which should not necessarily be bought as kind of an investment in the product. They are difficult to sell at the other end for the same kind of collector premium. You have to target the collector market. There are a lot of examples, not just of poured silver, but proof coins that are often offered spot price from dealers, and a lot of the time these dealers they'll probably know that they can get way more than they're offering for you. But again, it's about the convenience of the sale, and selling is one of the big things that people kind of ignore when it comes to gold and silver. So if you are a new stacker investor, or even, to be fair, a seasoned stacker investor, right now, buying gold and silver, you should always have an idea of what you want to get out of it at the other end and how you're going to get it out at the other end. I think that's just a normal, natural thing that people should be doing, but often it's glanced over. There is this strange mentality within stackers and collectors and investors of gold and silver, because we don't necessarily think about that, because a lot of people just think taking the money out of the system, putting it into something that's not fiat currency, not just numbers on a screen, you're going to be just fine. And why you would ever want to cash out for those numbers on a screen is beyond anybody's wildest imaginations. But let's be quite frank, the world works and runs on fiat currency. It doesn't work on gold and silver. It might one day work on gold and silver, but unfortunately we live in this world of actual money that is required to pay rent and bills and put fuel in your car and things like that. So there are plenty of good reasons to be at least prepared to get things out at the other end. And indeed, if you are a seasoned stacker and you've been sitting on some of your lower premium American Silver Eagles or other bits and bobs like Queen's Beasts, and you're suddenly looking now at these huge high premiums that are being garnered for these coins, it does potentially ask questions about exiting some of those coins right now and then maybe changing up to buy other coins. I know from my perspective, going forward into 2022, a lot of my focus is going to be on things like this, the collectible numismatic side, the proof coins that I think will have more value. There's this real stark difference, and you look from 2019, 2020, the stark difference there, I think, for bullion is, really crystal clear. Lots of people out there want to get things which are collectible, things which are real, and these collector's items, whether it be in gold and silver or in, trading cards or Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars figurines and Lego and all of this, there are countless examples where it's just absolutely taken off over the last couple of years since the pandemic has struck. And I think a lot of people are oblivious to that right now. But there are a lot of people catching on, and I do think that it's going to be something to focus on. So collectibles are very much a thing to look at, I think, but at the same time are a lot higher risk. So for me, it's about keeping that foundation stack of gold and silver and then looking to have that new stuff diversify into these. And diversification is kind of the key tool, the key message here for a lot of new stackers to really focus on, because it is a diversification tool. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. A lot of the investments around the world right now, whether it be Bitcoin, stocks and shares, looking at the Wall Street bets movement and mentality, there's a lot of youth out there at the moment which are investing, and that's great. That's fantastic to see. And they're, of course, getting into gold and silver now as well. But at the same time, they have this expectation on just things in life to be a fast turnaround, a quick buck turnaround. And unfortunately for gold and silver, you are looking at this stuff as a decade-long investment, I think, for real kind of benefits to be seen financially. Now, if you're holding it because you just want to have that protection in case real brown stuff hits the fan, then great. That is exactly what you should be doing, in my opinion, for gold and silver. It is not necessarily like a stock or a share where you put your money in and you get your money out at the other end and you move on to the next thing. It should be held as something that will preserve your wealth and transport that through time and protect your wealth through time. It's not a quick turnaround thing. And I think a lot of the new kind of stackers that got involved in the silver squeeze movement are understanding that, at least. They are certainly, I think there's going to be quite a lot of people who are stung quite badly because they put too much money into their gold and silver right at the start of the silver squeeze movement, and now they're sitting on 20-30% losses before having cashed out. And that's not great for a new person who might then need to buy a car or a house or pay bills or lose their job and have to pay the rent. So there are a lot of pitfalls for gold and silver that should be heeded, and I think diversification is a really, really key aspect. And when it comes to diversification, if you're a new person into gold and silver, there's this big kind of question about how much do you buy all in one go? How much do you put in right now? If you're going to try and get a foundation stack, which, by the way, might sound like the best thing that you can possibly look to do, get a big, big lump of silver and have that as your foundation and build from there. A lot of people do that, and I've done that, and I've got this fantastic foundation stack of gold and silver that I've accumulated before the pandemic when prices were really low, and I've been sat on it. It's a nest egg. It's sitting there. A lot of that is very profitable right now. A lot of the gold that I've bought, is £300-400 an ounce up, and that's great, and I love it. But at the same time, that's not something I'm cashing out right now. It's something that I want to keep, and I want to keep accumulating. And I have been accumulating over this last sort of 18 months of the pandemic, because I do feel that having gold and silver in your portfolio, in your pockets for this longer term, is going to be quite important. So collectors markets aside, I do think that having that stuff is going to be a factor played into over the course of the next decade as we come out of the pandemic, as we come out of the financial issues which are inevitably going to arise from inflation and various other factors. But it is no sort of secret that gold and silver have struggled financially, price-wise, over this last year, and a lot of people will blame it on the Fed and the markets and just say that it's a rigged market and there are all of these other factors at play that they will just ignore out there, like macroeconomic factors that are really basically commanding the fact that there is this recovery going on right now, and gold and silver are just assets which actually cost money at the end of the day. If you have physical silver stored in a vault, that costs you money. If you have big, we're talking billions of dollars worth of silver, it will cost you money each year. It won't necessarily net you money each year. It protects you, and you can potentially gain on those numbers as the time goes on, but it costs money for a lot of big institutions or even investors that have it all stored away. So do bear that in mind. There's also the untold cost for physical stackers of basically having to sell the stuff at the wrong time. If you are over leveraged into your gold and silver and you are forced to sell, then you might not end up with the right price at the other end. So lots of different things to factor in, and I do think that it is going to be an interesting year ahead when it comes to price points. There are countless videos out there right now hypothesizing highs and lows. There are people like, well, I mean, I've said it myself as well, I do think there is potential room for silver to go down, which then brings its own questions of when to buy your gold and silver. Should you buy in all one go right now? If you have, a big budget to look to get a foundation stack going, it could be quite costly to do it right now and then see gold and silver tumble down. I know from experience, trust me, where I've bought large amounts of silver for my poured silver business, and suddenly the silver price drops £2-3 an ounce. It's one of those things that unfortunately you just have to kind of live with and deal with when these prices fluctuate on a daily, hourly, weekly basis, and that's natural within any markets. But if you are holding for the long term, there is a lot of good to be said for gold and silver, whether it be high premium stuff like our poured bars here, which, as I said, are very much in the collector's market, and they're a way to help support our channel as well. If you enjoy the kind of content we make, then you can support us by getting something physical rather than just sending a super chat or buying a t-shirt. It's essentially our merchandise. You get something physical, you get something real that is worth something at the end of the day, rather than just like a t-shirt or just a super chat which YouTube takes 30% of, or whatever it might be. So if you are interested in supporting our channel and want to get these bars, then please have a look at our website. There's a link down in the description box below, and some of them are already in stock and all ready to go, so we can send them out this week. Otherwise, I think the year ahead is one to keenly monitor, and I will be touching in on this topic as we get more information about different potential price movements or topical events which are going to affect gold and silver collecting, stacking, investing over the course of the year. And I'm looking forward to the year. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Like, 2020 was a year that nobody expected. 2021 was a year that a lot of people were dreading, I think, certainly at the beginning of the year, because it was looking like it was going to be a pretty crazy, tumultuous ride for silver stackers. But actually, it's turned out to be quite good. A lot of people have bought a lot of silver and gold for the right reasons, and I think that's going to continue into 2022. But I do want to reiterate my air of caution that it is important for people to really understand what they're getting themselves into before they buy. Have a look at the exit strategies, have a look at what you're going to do at the other end of your sale. If you're going to hold it forever because you enjoy it and you love it, that's fine. I'm not going to begrudge people for that, but the danger of buying what you like rather than liking what you buy, I think is, it's a difficult one. Buying what you like is fine as long as you like it, enjoy it, and you want to keep it and it gives you pleasure. But liking what you buy, I think, can come from a lot of different sources. So really, it is down to each individual. And I'd love to know your opinion as we go now into the rest of 2022. So please feel free to comment down below and we'll have a good fun discussion. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. And if you're a new watcher to our videos and you want to see some of our previous content, you can check all the playlists out. And for future content, hit that subscribe button with the alarm bell for notifications. Otherwise, that's it from me. A big thank you to you all for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.